name's Cooper Anderson, and I'll be your host tonight on The Yesterday Show. Yep, you guessed it. I'm in Sparta via time machines and lots of science. But all that aside, I'm here to interview the people of Sparta. I'm here in the blacksmith shop with Sparta's blacksmith, Aeschylus. Please, call me Aeschylus. Sit down, get comfortable. So what's business like in Sparta? Well, here in Sparta, we barely ever get supplies from trade, so us local businesses usually get plenty of business. You say you don't get much trade. How do you get your metals or other materials? Well, some of what I use is mined by the slaves, or Hellenes, but the rest is from conquering other places. So I hear you're not a citizen. Yes, what you hear is true. I am what they call perioikoi. We are free men, but not citizens. We are most of the people who run shops, create weapons of the military, serve in the military, sometimes we even conduct trade, but this is very rare. Do you own any slaves? Personally, I do not own any slaves. My children usually help run the shop. Though I don't, many other people who own slaves do. Pleasure talking to you today. We're back, this time with Alexander the Oligarch. Splendid to meet you. Tell us a little bit about your government. As you know, I am an oligarch. Sparta is run by an oligarchy. To make our decisions, we have a group called the Council of Elders. It is made up of 2 kings who inherit the position and 20 elected figures. I was elected 3 times in a row. Very impressive. Was there any limit on oligarchs? Yes, there is. To be elected, you must be 60 years or older and born to a noble family. Is there a certain way you were elected? Indeed. The assembly will shout, and whoever's name is shouted the loudest wins. The day of my election, my name ringed out from Peloponnesus to the Pindus Mountains. You mentioned something called the assembly. What is this? The assembly is when all the male citizens of Sparta come together to do things like pick leaders and vote on laws. They meet in a large outdoor place called the Agora. Well, it's been nice interviewing you today. Good meeting you too. Now we'll be talking to Cletus, a Spartan soldier and headmaster of the barracks. Tell us a little bit about Spartan children's education. Well, at a young age, both boys and girls are trained to fight, although boys get more training. What are some things you teach? We mostly train in military things, but we also teach some unnecessary things like reading and writing. We train the children in things like wrestling, boxing, foot racing, gymnastics, and teaching them to endure any pain. We even starve them and make them march without shoes. Doesn't that seem kind of cruel? It's all for the better good of Sparta. When do people become part of the military? Typically, at the age of 20, boys take a difficult test of military ability, fitness, and leadership. Though, they still must live in the barracks until they turn 30. It seems like you are very demanding. Here in Sparta, we require the very best of the best, so we prevent any military situation. Great talking to you. Same to you. Now we're talking to Phoebe, a Spartan woman.
Pleasure to meet you.
Is it true that Spartan women have more rights than other women in city-states?
Yeah, we basically have the same rights as men, although we can't do all things, like vote.
Interesting. Like Spartan men, do you have to train for the military?
We
talking to the slave Thales. Hello. So tell us a little bit about yourself. Okay, so when I was 20, a small village was plundered by the Spartans. The ones who were not killed were taken into slavery. I'm sorry to hear that. I'm kind of over it now. Tell me about the treatment of slaves in Sparta. The government does not like us. They'll declare war on us just to legally kill us. Since we're such a large group, the government treats us very harshly. What rights did you have, if any? Oddly, we have a lot of rights. We can marry at any time, name children after us, sell extra crops, and even buy ourselves out of slavery.